What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Spade here, and welcome to most likely and is the final Persona Q first experience video. Oh my god. Well, at any rate, in this video, we're actually going to be doing two things. Discussing the clock tower first, and the clock tower is the final dungeon. And afterwards, we're going to be talking about my final thoughts on the whole game. So, yeah, this one might be long. But at any rate, I ended up beating Persona Q, this game, today, October 4th, 2016. And honestly, I probably could have beaten it 2 days ago. But I wanted to everything grind. Grind for everything. But just, yeah, I basically just had enough of the game and just wanted to beat it. Didn't care about anything else. But let's just dive right on into what was the final dungeon like. Through screenshots of dungeon maps, I knew this dungeon was twice as long as the others. But it honestly wasn't too bad. The first 7 floors, I believe, are where every floor is just really small. But once you get to floor 8 and 9, the final official dungeon floor with a bunch of puzzles and stuff. The last 2 floors of the dungeon were pretty much as long as the Inaba Pride exhibits floors were. But again, it wasn't too bad. I ended up doing the last 2 floors literally in one day. Can totally make myself exhausted from doing it all in one day, but I did it all in one day. I'm pretty sure I stayed up to like 3 or 4 the other day for at night. 3 or 4 at night. And I ended up just getting those last 2 floors done. That was literally like a 5-hour run of the game, just in the dungeon, no saving at all for like 5 odd hours. I ended up plugging in my 3DS before it ended up going dead. Luckily, I didn't see the DS go red. But nonetheless, if I had to redo that 5 hours again, honestly, I would have quit right then there. But nonetheless, we got through it all. So back when it comes to talking about the first floor and every other floor till like the 7th, honestly, pretty much this whole dungeon was a joke. If I had to say what dungeon was the easiest in the whole game, is the final dungeon. I learned a lot when it came to this game, especially over the past week that I've been playing the game again. But nonetheless, the enemies were pretty easy. Getting money in this dungeon was really easy. Took a bit of time, but if you went through some of the floors and fight all the FOEs and stuff within one go. And once you're done, just sell all the materials, you're gaining literally over 1,000 yen. Just like that. But again, that can take some time. But nonetheless, the main theme for this dungeon was obviously a clock tower. But what follows through with the whole game is a spider. The FOEs were spiders. The main FOE theme was spiders. Some of the puzzles were spider webs. And honestly, the FOEs are easy. Once you got the right strategy and skills, you're owning everything. And I mean everything. You can take down the FOEs within 2 to 3 turns. And that's pretty quick compared to fighting the festival dudes in the Innovative Pride exhibit, which you could be fighting them for over an hour and still not win, unless you have the right strategy and stuff. So yeah, fighting the FOEs were pretty quick. And once you get to the second floor, you end up fighting the Reaper. Like, the Persona, the series' ideal image for the Reaper has to be my favorite design-wise for the Reaper. I don't know why. It just looks crazy and I love it. I love the fact that the Reaper's in the game. He's in Persona 3 and he's in Persona 4. And when you heal the Reaper's chains, you better be running. That's all I gotta say. And honestly, now that I think about it, the FOE, one of the FOE designs in the Evil Spirit Club dungeon might have been inspired by the Grim Reaper now that I think about it. Because you have the whole bloody sack as a head over the Reaper. And then you have the babies with the bloody sack over their head for FOEs in the third dungeon. So I don't know, they might have been inspired by the Reaper. Because they damn well felt it. But nonetheless, I think I'd probably discuss this idea and topic in the Evil Spirit Club dungeon video. Maybe, maybe not. But probably. Yeah, it's been over a year, but you don't end up coming across this one Reaper in this dungeon. You come across a handful. It's pretty ridiculous, to be honest. If I had to guess how many Reapers are in this dungeon, probably 7 or 6. I think that's a fair number. But nonetheless, the Reaper's pretty free in this game. Again, if you have the right strategy, if you have the right skill set, and if you've got a bit of luck. Because, like, if you land agility bind, you're set for getting all of your moves to hit. And if you magic bind him, he's not doing Madoon. And that's an instant death spell for darkness. And if you got Naruto, resisting that, blocking it. And if you're using the Persona 4 main protagonist, like I was, playing the Persona 4 side, he nullifies and blocks that too. So that's not too big of a deal, but it can be. Plus I was playing on safety, so I didn't have too big of a problem. But trying to kill the Reaper without dying, yeah, I say it's a challenge no matter what. You really gotta strategize in that regard. Like when it comes to the Reaper, honestly, just fuck puzzles and fight everything in sight. That's pretty much what I tried to do throughout the whole game. But enough Reaper talk. Let's just digress to a small topic, but annoying nonetheless. There's a dead end. Out of the many dead ends you'll encounter in the dungeon, one of the dead ends brings you to a point where you have to shout out the stupid team name you gave to your team every kill in the game, your party. You gotta shout it out in a dead end event. And you give the team name, the stupid team name, in the second dungeon in the game. The Group Date Cafe. God, I wish that video was still up. But nonetheless, you have to somehow remember the team name you gave yourselves in the second dungeon. And at the time, you're thinking, oh, there's no way this is going to come up again. But it does. And that's something I kind of missed out on. But I do know what actually happens if you remember the name, if you left a note for yourself way back when you were going through the second dungeon. If you're smart enough to leave a note and set up the name correctly, you end up getting fully healed. No secret quests or anything, which is good. But still, I would have liked to actually get that right. Like, how the fuck are you supposed to know or remember what the team name is you named your team way back when? Unless you left a note for yourself. And next to nobody's gonna leave a note for themselves for the future, for the final dungeon. But nonetheless, I tried that a few times and just gave up. There are too many combinations. It would take forever to try them all, and not worth the time. But then there's also another dead end event to where execution, to where there's a bag stuck in the wall. You try to grab it to see what's inside. You get electrocuted. And some of your items get taken away. And honestly, why was that not a quest? Like, they say let's just leave it for now, but it doesn't end up becoming a quest. And I find that kind of weird, because I am pretty curious, like the characters on the game, what is in the bag. But it doesn't become a quest. For some reason, I don't know why, but nonetheless, I find that kind of weird. And honestly, I already mentioned spot the web puzzles, but you also end up having closed gates and number gate puzzles, which can be difficult, but again, it's trial and error and just seeing the pattern, seeing the way they want you to walk, and if you walk the way they want you to walk, you will get it right, and you will pass through the gates. It wasn't too bad. Honestly, it really wasn't. Only one of them was a bit tedious, but I ended up getting it pretty quick. But then there's the final puzzle. It is a bit annoying. And that's the gondola puzzles. Oh god. And a gondola is just another word for a ship. Or a flying ship. And honestly, the gondola puzzles were honestly a bit more tedious and annoying because if you miss something on one side of the map, but you have to go through all the gondola puzzles again just to get back to that area to fill out the map or to get that chest, it becomes pretty fucking annoying. And it can take up some time. But nonetheless, overall, the final dungeon wasn't too bad. It really wasn't. It was definitely the easiest out of all of the dungeons so far. But again, I think that's probably just because we had the right skills set up and we had the levels to back it up. But again, I feel like levels don't matter in this game. It's the right setup of skills that matter the most. At least that's the way it seems like to me. And honestly, when it comes to the final boss of the game, or second final boss, I should say, the second final boss of the game, which I believe I mentioned in the last video, in a Pride exhibit video, was a giant mechanical spider. Now, if you know anything about Atlas games, Persona games, or Shin Megami Tensei games, most likely the bosses are either going to have a second or third form. And that's somewhat what this is. Like, but nonetheless, epic anime cutscenes, epic 3D cutscenes. The spider jumps down from the very top of the clock tower to battle you on the roof. And honestly, it's pretty cool. The music is just epic, as usual. There is literally no Atlas game bad soundtracks. There is literally none. There is no such thing as a bad soundtrack. Because all of them are godlike or really good. Or really fucking epic or sad. And this one is pretty epic. Nonetheless, what was the boss actually like? This spider boss, I kind of had this idea when I first saw it. Thinking to myself, the legs have a different orb type sphere of color on them. And I thought, right, it represents the elements that are in the game. With some of the elements, the main elements, which would be fire, ice, electric, and nonetheless, wind. 4 legs, each leg had a different element. Again, this boss was pretty free. I think I took out at least 2 to 3 turns. Yeah, again. But honestly, I don't know, man. The second last boss of the game was pretty cool and epic, but went down easy. Definitely went down easy. Especially with Naruto. With a power charged world's end skill. With the world's end skill along with power charged and a few other buffs to our attack. When it was defending its face, all the legs were out. Yeah, get that in. Wrecked everything. Wrecked all the legs in one shot. It was beautiful. Nonetheless, once you end up beating what you're most likely thinking is the final boss, it ain't. Because the true final boss is Kronos himself, aka the side of Zen before he met Rei. The side that could not change. Or in other words, Zen's shadow self. I believe its name was actually Clockwork God. I believe that's actually the name of the boss. The true final boss of the game. Honestly, gotta say, again, just epic all around. Epic all around. And when it comes to the actual fight, you literally have a time count that it counts down to your death. And the thing is, if you have bombs of life or revival beads on deck, that prolongs each character's death counter when the fight basically begins. And Zen ends up having the longest time till his death. And honestly, I ended up going with the final party that I ended up going with for this team, for this game, was actually Naoto, Kami. So basically, Naoto, Kanji, Zen, and finally, the Persona 3 protagonist. I didn't know if any special event or whatever would happen if you ended up using Zen and the other main protagonist in the game in the final battle. So I just ended up using both of them. So basically the three main guys of the game all in one party for the final battle. Again, this was a blind experience. So I didn't know. And the answer is nothing different happens if you use them in the final battle. And to be honest, I think it would have been kind of cool if they did have something like that going on, to where if you use both of them in your final party for the final boss, you'll get like a different ending or something. I think that would have been kind of cool. But no, that's just my opinion. Nonetheless, that was the final party. I don't remember the exact levels, but you was level 99. It was level 99 halfway through the fourth dungeon. So halfway through in my pride exhibit. So he was capped out long ago. Naoto was capped out at 99. Kanji was early 90s. Zen was, I think, late 70s or early 80s. And Ray, Ray, well, yeah, that's true. Pretty much what I call the main protagonist in this game was actually Luke for Kami and Ray for the Persona 3 protagonist. Their last names were both Sato. Can't remember why I both named their last names Sato. I just did. But yeah, I ended up. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. Great. That's always fun, huh? Nonetheless, moving on. Oh yeah, right. The Persona 3 protagonist, I believe, was roughly early or late 80s in levels. So we were looking pretty good on levels. The Personas, I believe I equipped were for everyone but Zen, since you can't equip Personas. I ended up having Naoto with Lucifer. I ended up having you with Yotsune, I think that's his name. Yotsune of the Tower Arcana. With that broke ass move, Hasutobi. And with Kanzi, I believe I ended up. Who did I have Kanzi equipped with? I think I had Kanzi equipped with Satan. And for the Persona 3 protagonist, I don't remember, I don't really know how to say the name, but it's basically that monkey humanoid looking persona wearing Japanese or Chinese clothing on a cloud. That persona. And literally everyone but Zen ended up having either amongless arrows along with power charge or some type of debuff or buff skill to increase attack or lower the enemy's defense, along with the main protagonist having Utobi. So we were pretty much doing major damage. Persona 3 protagonist doing the least damage. What I find funny though is I ended up testing out Yotsune in a persona I had equipped with you. Ended up testing him a little earlier on, today actually, before going into the final fight. Ended up testing him with Kanzi, since both of them ended up having capped attack strength. Both of their attack strength was at 99. To see who would do more damage with a power charge Hasatobi. And it seems like you ends up doing more damage, surprisingly. You'd think Kanzi would do more damage because he's more of a physical hitter, but he's not. He does less damage, about the same damage as Naruto would do with Yotsune. I also tried that. I don't know, I find it funny. And what's even stranger is Naruto ends up doing more damage with a power charge Hatsutobi or amongless arrows. So ends up doing more damage than Kanji does. Even though he has maxed strength than Naruto. Which I find kind of funny, since I believe Naruto ended up going in with 56 strength out of 99. Like, I don't know, like, that's basically like half the attack strength Kanji had, but did a bit more damage. I don't know, I find it really weird. I don't know, it's probably a setup I have on Naruto compared to Kanji too. Nonetheless, the final boss is pretty free. It was pretty free. Not gonna lie. And honestly, at this point, the ending was honestly somewhat saddening. It was like, alright, we have badass final battle theme going. Final badass moment going. And once you beat was technically kind of Sato Zen, we end up with a bit of a sad moment telling Ray what we believe the meaning of life is. After that, it's all happy times. Let's all laugh. Let's all have a grand feast, grand bite to eat. No saddles are in the labyrinths. Let's reminisce and go into the no saddles in the labyrinths for reminiscence. The only done since the only labyrinths we actually end up going in to during like the final moments of the game within the Haven and the Rift. Well, the Group Day Cafe and the Evil Spirit Club. Surprisingly, we didn't go through You in Wonderland, the Inner Pride exhibit, and the Clock Tower. Surprisingly. But instead we end up going to like the two middle dungeons. Oh my god, that was pretty funny though. Like, oh man. But in the scene where we're reminiscing about the Group Day Cafe dungeon, then Yosuke is like all quiet and stuff. It's just like, what am I going to do with her? And honestly, I had no idea who he was thinking of, what girl he was thinking of. I was thinking CA, since most of the fans kind of sip Yosuke with CA, and I kind of sip that as well. But again, I'm more within the sipping combi with every girl in Persona 4. But nonetheless, he was actually talking about Yukiko. I since it's been so long since since like 75% of the whole game. I don't remember if this was the first time or not. Probably not. But it felt like the first time. But we ended up seeing Chibi be like Yukiko wearing the gag glasses. And that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not spoiling anything for those who never played through Persona 4. But if you know what gag glasses are, they show up in that game too, so it's funny nonetheless. But still though, for some reason Chibi Yukiko with the gag glasses looks really cute for some reason. Funny and cute. It's pretty funny for some reason. And what's a bit more funnier in a sense is that Ray, aka not the Persona 3 main protagonist, but the girl Ray in the game, ends up asking Marie, could you teach me how to write poems? And I don't know, that's kind of cute and funny in a sense. Because you have Marie blessing and saying, you can't teach someone how to write poems. Which is kind of true in its own sense. But I just kind of find it kind of funny that That brain kind of wants to know how to write poems. And what's a bit more funny is the fact that Theodore, aka Theo, actually wanted to experience being in a group date cafe. And on top of that, yeah, Margaret and Elizabeth saying they'll group date, that they'll do a group date cafe battle with all of the huts or something along those lines. It's not a battle. Oh my, the group date cafe is so great. No matter where it's, no matter if it's in Persona 4 or in Persona Q. It's funny nonetheless. It really is. Especially if you play the role on the girls' side in Persona 4. Hint, hint. For a funnier experience. But nonetheless, then we end up going to the evil spirit club once more. And CA ends up getting scared when I believe Elizabeth says there's 800 spiders behind her. I don't know, that's kind of funny and cute. And what's even more funny and just bullshit is the fact that Rise ends up hugging you when Elizabeth says that. Rise ends up hugging you, saying so scary. Something along those lines of being scared. And if you know what Risa's personality is, it's kind of obvious it's bullshit. And it's just an excuse for her to hug you. And then you have the option of saying, yeah, sure, or so scary. I chose the option so scary. Like, I don't know, it's cute seeing in first the first sip and my number one first waifu in Persona 4 Golden and stuff in chibi form hugging the main protagonist. Like, I don't know, I just kind of find that, I don't know, it's cute, it's funny, it's everything. And then you have the whole farewells, goodbyes thing. But honestly, when it comes down to it all, Zen ends up bringing Rei up to, what's the word again? I'm just gonna say heaven. Or eternity or something, I don't know. I forget the word they actually used. Something. I don't know, whatever. But once they leave, everyone goes their separate ways. Persona 3 side, through their door. Persona 4, through their door. And what I honestly find really saddening the most is not like the whole farewells is super saddening or whatever. It's more like a sigh of relief and yes, I finally beat the game. But it's more like, wait a minute. I know, even though I'm blind, 50% blind through Persona 3, I don't know how it ends. I'm only like halfway through the game and stuff. And it's just like, you know, through rumors, stories, and all of that, that the main protagonist for Persona 3 ends up dead in the end in their own game. To where in Persona 4, the main protagonist does not die. And it's just like, Persona 3 is more saddening and depressing, where the Persona 4 is more happy-go-lucky fun times. But the sad thing is, like, for me, the Persona 3 protagonist ends up saying farewell until we meet again. And just knowing the fact that they go their separate ways, and knowing that the Persona 3 protagonist ends up dying in his own story, in his own game. He ends up dying in his own timeline. Therefore, the Persona 3 and 4 protagonists can never meet again until at least the afterlife. And it's just like, that's pretty devastating. Like, can you just imagine then a potential Persona Q2 game or something? But it's like after the Persona 4 story ends and Persona 3 story ends, and the Persona 4 crew and cast ends up hearing that the Persona 3 protagonist that they knew in the Persona Q1 game or something, the fact that they knew them through that game, through that rift in time, ends up dying within the 2-year difference between them, never to see him again. Just trying to imagine the Persona 4 cast reaction to something like that, as it's just so devastating imagining it. Like, seeing a Persona Q2 game would be amazing, in my opinion. I would love to see another one. Not gonna lie. But, with that said, let's talk about the credits. Honestly, the credit music is so saddening. The credit music is so sad. It's just like, the feelings are real when it comes to the credits. I freaking love the credits for this game. And this image here is right before the credits start to roll. And you see Zen and Ray walking through the whole credits with screenshots of some of the events that go on throughout your journey throughout the whole game behind them. And it's so cool. And on top of that, the bottom screen is literally showcasing every map to every floor throughout all of the dungeons in the game, It's showing literally everything you mapped out. And I just find it pretty cool to like all the real credits on top, but the maps you did in the journal, in the notebook, in the notepad on the bottom screen. I just find that really cool. And afterwards, you end up, once the credits are over, Zen and Ray disappear. They turn into sparkles, basically. Golden sparkles. And before you know it, apparently you wake up. As I played the Persona 4 side, the Persona 3 sides are going to be different. But for the Persona 4 side, apparently you end up waking up or something. You come downstairs, you have a chat with Nanako, saying that you're going to be late for school. You said hurry and stuff. Or you're going to be late to go for a study group with your friends. And you end up having an anime scene to where the crew is having a big study session, and that's pretty much the end. It fades out. You see the butterfly you saved caught in a spiderweb in what I believe is the last quest of the game. And that is from the Persona 3 or 4 protagonist. Depending on what side, you're basically helping Zen save a butterfly. And the fact that that's probably the same butterfly you're seeing at the at the finale is pretty cool. It is literally the Persona 3-4 butterfly that you end up seeing within both games. At least that's what I like to think it is. But getting back to waking up or something, from what I can gather, it seems like everything you fucking did in the game ends up being done in our sleep or something? Or it literally seems like we've gone through the whole game, we've done everything within a night's time. So basically, from the time you went to bed, from the time you wake up, that is how long we were in that rift in the haven. It seems. And since the Persona 4 protagonist likes to go to bed early, at like midnight, I say 12:30. Yeah. I don't know. The fact that we did all of that within one night's rest does fill in the whole gap when it comes to this game took place during this part in time within the main screen game. It fits in to where you're not like gone for a week's time or something and you disappeared and those Zima and the police are worried you've been kidnapped by the murder in India or something, and you've been executed or something. Like, I don't know, that would have been pretty cool, but it does fill in that gap. It does fill it all in. But still, I don't believe that you could possibly do that within a night's time. Whether you end up doing something like that in real life, fantasy, whatever, there's no way you could do it. You can't beat this game within roughly an 8 hour time. There's no way. Unless, I don't know, New Game Plus? I don't know. It's hard to say how quickly you could get through the game by New Game Plus. It's hard to say. But, nonetheless, that is my final thoughts on Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth. But we're still not quite done. Would I recommend you guys end up getting this game? Yeah, just drinking a drink through this whole video. I forget what it's called, but it's something like lemonade. And it's a pop. Simple as that, but rambling. But would I recommend you guys end up getting your hands on this game? Would I say it's worth the money and worth the time? Especially the time. Honestly, I highly recommend you guys end up getting your hands on this game. It is a blast. The puzzles are annoying as fuck. You may not want to, but you will need to search up some things, some puzzles in this game, especially in the Evil Spirit Club dungeon. That's a given. You need to, if you want to surpass it. You need to search it up. So you may have to spoil yourself on how to solve a puzzle, and to solve one puzzle, but it's better than spoiling the whole game, am I right? I may have spoiled myself on some of the puzzles I got stuck on and stuff, but it wasn't needed. Because if I didn't, I would have never beaten this game. Never. I would never figure out the puzzles. Ever. Guarantee. Unless I got really fucking lucky. Yeah, there's that too. You either gotta be really lucky, really good at puzzles, or just search up the answer. But, again, I highly recommend you guys end up getting your hands on this game. It is definitely worth getting. And I actually did do, at one point or another, an unboxing of the Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth Collector's Edition in box. Still fucking hate the fact that the box I got everything in was in the worst shape fucking possible. I like to keep things in mid condition these days and stuff. I don't know, I don't like the fact that it's so poorly pretty much destroyed, but everything inside it wasn't, so it all worked out. But nonetheless, even getting the collector's edition, I say, is worth it. You get the second half of all of the tarot cards, I believe, along with a CD soundtrack and a little book with some information on the game and stuff, which has really good visuals and stuff. Pretty interesting, tells you about some of the characters and all of that. And you end up getting a 3DS XL protection case thing in it as well. I don't think I'm actually ever going to use it though, because I want to be in the best condition possible. But nonetheless, either or, I definitely recommend you guys get the game. It's definitely worth the money. And again, time, honestly, the time, what was I getting at? Nonetheless, might as well just tell you guys how long it took, how much game time I put in to this game until I just said, fuck it, let's just do the final boss. I ended up doing every quest in the game. I got 89% of the compendium completed, I believe. None of the paid for DLC yet. I definitely plan on getting it eventually. I mapped out, I'd say, a good 80% of all of the floors and in all of the dungeons. I almost mapped out all of them. Some of them I still don't know how to map out completely, sadly. But the amount of time I ended up putting into this game for my first playthrough was 126 hours and 35 minutes. That's how long I spent on this game. Believe it or not, I thought I spent 124 hours was as the longest first playthrough of a new game for Persona 4 Golden. Apparently the longest file I had for Persona 4 Golden was actually 115 hours. Persona 4 Golden is a long game. Same for Persona 4. But the fact that I put in literally 11 plus more hours into this game than I did into Golden is ridiculous. I thought this game was shorter than Golden, but it's actually longer. Surprisingly, it is longer than Persona 4 Golden. But then again, if I didn't do all the level grinding and stuff, it would probably be shorter than Persona 4 Golden. By a lot. I probably would have saved off 20 hours or something. Solely due to a bunch of unnecessary level grinding. But again, I had a lot of fun playing this game. By far, it was a fun game. Again, all the puzzles worth the trouble. Honestly, the puzzles, the labyrinths, the dungeons, the FOEs, the bosses, all of it is worth the trouble. Because, in my opinion, the story makes it worth the while. The story makes all the trouble worth the while, in my opinion. But again, that's just my opinion. I had a fucking blast with this game. And I can proudly say I was one of the people who ended up beating this game. And honestly, there's probably a handful of people that quit playing the game halfway through or something. But I ended up beating it. Holy shit. I'm pretty bad at video games. So, if I can beat a tough game like this with with somewhat little help and mostly blind, that is truly saying something. Considering this game was mainly puzzles, labyrinths, and bullshit. Like any Atlas game to some degree. Honestly, this game definitely gave me a run for my money. It was a blast. And honestly, I lost what I was gonna say. So before we make this any longer, before we go, we might as well say the fact that we ended up getting technically what was going to be two videos into about an hour video is pretty good. It's pretty good, but with that said, hope you all enjoy this video somehow. Like, comment, sub. Let me know what you thought of this game if you played it yourself. And honestly, let me know if you're actually interested in getting this game and playing it yourself or whatever. Either or, I will say this. I recommend playing Persona 4 the original or Golden first. No matter what side you play, you're pretty much gonna be spoiled by one of the more bigger secrets in Persona 4. Now, it's one thing, like, I most likely got spoiled by some things in Persona 3, but I don't know about those spoilers or secrets yet. So, they don't really affect me. But the thing is, Persona 4 has a bit of a main secret that stays throughout most of the game. And this game kind of spoils that. So, if you don't want to be spoiled on a pretty heavy secret in Persona 4, I recommend playing through that game first. I recommend playing through Persona 4 or Golden first, then diving into this one. With that said, I'm out of here. I'm out of breath. And it's high time we wrap this up. Hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know if you guys think I should do a, a first experience talk video series on any other games in the future. Because I'm kind of willing to do more of these type of videos for other games. Just let me know, but nonetheless, I'm done. See you guys around. Finally beat the game, damn it. Yes.